Awesome, Glenn. I just sat down with a client, great young guy, ambitious, looking to build out a big portfolio. He's already got quite a significant portfolio there, and he's someone who just wants to keep going.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm interested to hear what you're going to talk to me about, because
I think you already know.
Yeah,
right?
we talk about it a lot in the office. Go on. Yep.
So he started out his portfolio buying them all bar one in his individual name.
Okay.
Which is great. It sounds like the right thing to do. That's what a general accountant's going to advise you. But guess what our conversation was? He's stuck, now been able to borrow more money to continue to grow.
He's reached his ceiling. So how many has he purchased?
He's got 8.
Awesome.
Which is a fantastic result.
Huge.
On any standard, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
But the issue is now is the income needs to continue to go up, which I think is what a lot of property investors don't talk about. To grow a portfolio, not only do your assets need to grow, so does your income to be able to borrow more money.
Correct. Yes.
So in this particular case, and it's not just this particular case, it's unfortunately a lot of times when we sit down with people who probably haven't sat down with yourself or I at the start to build out a portfolio, understanding the structure and the entities they need to buy their assets in make a big difference to the size they can grow.
There's huge implications.
Correct.
Absolutely huge, depending on which way you go to whether or not you're going to hit a ceiling, or whether or not effectively you can almost keep going on forever.
So when we'll run numbers, and you might look initially, if you start buying in trusts, what you can often borrow is actually slightly less than in your individual name, simply because the banks won't actually add back a negative gearing in many circumstances.
Yeah.
So you might look at that and think, but I can borrow more money in my own name, which may be true up to a certain point, but then you're capped.
Yeah.
If you do it right through the right entities, you can almost continue to borrow indefinitely, so long as you have the serviceability, the affordability there, and you're buying the right assets.
So you touched on the negative gearing element behind it. That obviously falls into play with the calculators that the banks use. They recognise that there's going to be a tax benefit for a borrower in a personal name, and they factor that in and allows you to borrow a little bit more.
Yeah, correct. It makes a big difference when you start to get onto significant amounts of debt.
Yeah.
So this is where, I'll often talk about a puzzle. Everyone knows what a jigsaw puzzle is. But when I talk about a jigsaw puzzle when it comes to growing out your financial goals, it's really that puzzle should represent this gentleman's vision.
Yes.
So this vision then, which is his personal vision, everyone has their own, each piece of the puzzle is like an asset that you need to buy and put in to build out the end picture. So depending on the end picture you're trying to create is dictated with how you buy assets, what assets you buy, and what entities you buy them in. Ideally, you start that from day one.
Yes.
Not from when you're a quarter way down the journey, because then you find it's very costly to restructure it, or you've been doing a great job and you hit a roadblock and you actually can't get through it in some circumstances.
And the jigsaw puzzle also is referring to your team.
Correct,
as well.
100%.
The pieces of get the right finance broker, get the right accountant that's prepared to help you out. One thing that I wanted to ask about, and you touched on it a little bit more, borrowing in your personal name often gives you just maybe a little bit more borrowing capacity than, say, in a trust or a company.
Initially.
That's the question that I was going to say. How does that then help you to expand out 3, 4, 5 properties down the track?
In the individual name?
Well, either. Yeah, but yeah.
So let's say you've gone to your accountant and they've said buy in your individual name first, right? You have a goal of X amount of properties. Well, really, if you buy them in a trust first, and then you go to buy them in the individual name, you can borrow more money that way too. So in a trust, once you've got the debt inside of a trust, and as long as it serves itself, it washes its own face, when you go to get another home loan, generally the banks won't actually include that debt on that serviceability calculator, which is the key, maybe the question you're asking.
100%, that's the key. That the banks will say, we don't need to include this because, as you said, it washes its own face, we can park it to the side, and then we go again.
Correct.
And we go again, and we go again.
Correct. Whereas if you bought those properties initially in your own name, and then you go to buy in a trust, even when you go to buy in that trust, they're going to allocate all that debt to the serviceability calculator. We want it flipped the other way around.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I guess people looking at this who have started our portfolio, want to build a portfolio, it's absolutely ideal, and really the first step needs to be is sit down with someone like yourself, someone like myself, and say, where do you really want to get to?
Yep.
Let's then work with an accountant and actually build that structure out from day one, so you don't go down the process, get halfway there and realize I can't actually achieve what I want to achieve because I didn't take the time to figure out how I need to do it and how to build it properly.
Correct. It was so important to get it right from day one.
Correct.
Absolutely. But we also see that people are partway down the track as well. So it's certainly still very important to then connect with us.
Correct, 100%.
And we have those conversations, and it's not a case of unwinding what they've done, although maybe in some cases it is. But it's then working with what they've currently got, building out the strategy and helping them to then achieve what they want
100%. Biggest key, I think, takeaway would be get the right advice. Know what you want. Clarity is a beautiful thing.
Correct.
Get absolute clarity of what you really want and not what you think you want. Hey, I think I want this. I think that would be nice. No, what do you really want? Because everything takes sacrifice.
Yes.
Understand that. Get expert advice on how to then build that out and scale it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.